It was an amazing preseason. 3 sacks. And all of a sudden, we're starting to hear some rumbles about the first-round pick, Derek Barnett. Can he get to the quarterback? Well, he is getting to the quarterback, but he's also dealing with some rookie struggles as well, some rookie growing pains, as you would expect. Brendan Albert is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. We're going to break the first-round pick down. Can't wait for this. So every Saturday now, we're going to spotlight on a player, and today it's Derek Barnett.
Yeah, I mean, what a better person to start with. First round pick there for Philadelphia Eagles. Makes a ton of sense for us to start here. And typically, defensive ends are usually the third to fifth kind of highest paid player on the team. So obviously, this is a position of value in the NFL. It's a specific person of value too, being that the Eagles drafted him first overall. So makes a ton of sense, Adrian, for us to talk about him first.
Yeah, and before I pull the screen up, a question to ask you before we kind of get started. I feel like his expectations got so high after the preseason that since he's not really producing per se, that people are kind of disappointed. Now, I remember in the preseason, I was like, well, these sacks were coming against Jason Spriggs, Sontrell Henderson. I did want to see him play against better competition. Now we're seeing that better competition, Trent Williams, Russell Okung, some really good competition. So I'll just kind of let you answer that. Were the expectations too high? What do you think? And I'll kind of bring up the plays here.
Well, I think it's a gift and a curse, when you're successful in preseason because, everyone says, okay, well, he can do it. And then all of a sudden it becomes he has to do it. And I understand why that mindset is what it is, especially you spend a first-round pick on anyone in the NFL. You have to produce day one. I mean, that's why you're a first-round pick. There's no more of those babying first-round picks into it. Those guys are getting more and more money than ever. So, expectations are high. I would say this, Adrian, not only is he not necessarily in preseason facing not obviously starting left tackles in the NFL, he's also not facing starting left guards, starting quarterbacks who can get into the proper protection. I mean, a lot of times he was playing against quarterbacks who are, recently signed and probably didn't understand the full protection yet. So it's a combination, yes, Adrian, of, he is playing better offensive linemen, but he's also playing better quarterbacks. Eli, Phillip, and Kurt, all of them are veteran quarterbacks, so they're going to be able to set the front appropriately. You're not really going to be able to surprise a lot of these quarterbacks as far as different types of stunts and things like that. So you just have to win with skill. And like any rookie, only 4 games in or a couple of games in now, he's still learning, and that's completely normal.
Yeah, absolutely. So while you talk there, I was able to pull up the plays. So the first play we're going to get into. So there's been 2 occurrences this season where Chris Long has had a sack, but it's really occurred due to Barnett's bull rush. So we know about the speed rush. We know about the bend and dip and how he bends it like Barnett and all that sexy talk. But that move, he uses it so much that it's almost like tackles see it coming. They know it's coming, so he's been kind of handled. So where he's found success is actually his secondary pass rush moves and the bull rush, and we see it here on this play. So I'm sure the end zone angle is going to be the better angle for these clips, but we'll kind of show it right here. I'll just kind of let you go.
Yep. So we have Barnett here, guys, at the top of the screen. So Adrian, would you be so kind to point him out with your mouse? Because I know some people mentioned that. Yeah, up here. So Barnett, he's 258, but he's a big 258. I mean, he is thick. Okay, so Barnett does a really nice job of getting our tackle back here on roller skates, which is an expression of when you're able to just flat out push the offensive lineman against his will, and does a great job of getting him to push back. Now, as we'll see it from the other angle here, and it'll come up, you'll see it from the other angle that Phillip is one of those quarterbacks. He's a statue, okay? He's not Michael Vick. If he runs for more than 8 yards, it's because he's literally wide open. So when you play quarterbacks like this, yes, obviously you always have to be disciplined and still be outside contained, but you can be a little more lenient with him, which is why Barnett can go with the bull rush in this situation because he knows, hey, not looking at Michael Vick here. Phil Rivers is not going to run for 70 yards here. So this allows enough time for us to get a strip sack coming from the backside here. And this is just a good job of Barnett closing in on the pocket. And ultimately, that's what made Rivers say, I got to get out of here because if I stay here, Russell Okung's either going to get pushed into my lap or Chris Long is going to hit me in the back of the head for a sack. So Rivers tries to get out of it and just realizes I'm still slow outside of the pocket, just like I'm slow inside the pocket. And ultimately that allows Chris Long to come behind him and get that strip sack.
Yeah, and hand usage is something that Derek Barnett is very adept at. He's got very strong hands. So that was one occurrence. We'll get into another play later, but we're going to stay in the Chargers game. So he's had Trent Williams to deal with. He's had Russell Okung now. He struggled on Sunday against Okung. He did that to have that bull rush, but we're about to show a couple plays where Okung handled him pretty well. So let's see if I can find it here. Finding the plays is always the toughest part of these damn shows.
And the other thing, too, with a guy like Okung, for example, Okung is more of a physical tackle. He's not necessarily the finesse guy that like a Trent Williams is. I mean, Trent Williams is really a do-it-all. I shouldn't say he's only finesse. But Russell Okung is one of those guys where he really is more of a physical offensive tackle than a finesse offensive tackle. He played a lot of right tackle in his career. He's now playing left tackle just because of a lack of big need there in Los Angeles than necessarily his skill set. So this wasn't a great matchup for Barnett necessarily to continuously win with the bull rush. So, Adrian, go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Okung has ridiculously long arms too. So basically, once he started, seeing kind of Barnett start to lunge and lose his balance, he would just take his arms and just, put him right down on the ground. And Barnett did see some time on the turf on Sunday. We hadn't really seen that yet in the first three games, but handled pretty easily by Okung on against the Chargers. So what did you want me to do here?
Just point out to where Barnett is. I know a couple of our viewers asked for that. So, bottom of the screen.
He's on the bottom of the screen. He's lined up here. There have been a couple times where he's lined up at the other defensive end spot, but most of the time he is on the right side.
Yep. So, again, this is going to be a good kind of clip here of how you can see Barnett. He goes right face first. All right.
And this is what I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm. This is a clip here where he just simply overextends. Yep. I wonder, is he assuming that this might have been a run play, in which case he takes two long strides to try to get up under the pads quickly of Okung? That's my first assumption it could be. But you just can't do this. I mean, you can't go long strides without, being under control.
I mean, that's essentially almost like the wide 9 position right there.
Pretty close to it. I would say he's a little more inside than the wide 9. But, you can see here, Barnett tries that dip move, the dip and rip that we see so common. And Okung says, I'm just going to shove your face first into the dirt. Now, we'll kind of see this a couple different times. When we talk about these dip and rip moves, it's not necessarily as much about balance per se as you would normally think about it. It's more about the throwing of the hip and of that inside elbow. So in this case, the left elbow and the left hip. Well, for defensive ends, they need to quickly get around kind of like a top and shrink in that gap. Otherwise, they're going to be off balance if they keep going those long strides, because all they're going to do is keep running up the field. And that's exactly what these offensive tackles want. They say, hey, you know what? We understand you're probably going to be faster than us. So if you want to run up the field, that's fine. We'll let you. So this is just an example here of Barnett, how he needs to flick his hip quicker and his hand placement quicker to shrink in on the angle. Instead of us making this big, long loop, he needs to be more of a straight line angle, and he needs to do a better job at opening his hip and getting right down the line.
Now here he's lined up next to Brandon Graham. So we see Chris Long's on the bottom here. He's in an upright position.
Now, typically, guys, in the end zone view is going to show a nice job. So you can play this one full speed. But typically, guys, when we see defensive ends and defensive tackles, or really just any defensive linemen and linebackers that close, the alert that quarterbacks and offensive linemen are gonna call is twins. They also are going to call this an alert stunt, because if they're obviously that tight, they're that tight for a reason. So we see this here, and this is not an example of a stunt, but it is an example of what something that Coach Schwartz is going to do further down the line. It's play calling here. It's not like they're going to do it every single time, but this is forecasting what's going to happen in the future. So Barnett comes a good off the field, upfield rush, good hand rip there, but after that he gets in a little bit of trouble. Now we can see how he's making that really long loop, and this play is doomed not necessarily because of Barnett. It's doomed, Adrian, if you replay this from the end zone view, you'll see here, big 56 gets his butt kicked. He gets put on the grass. And because of that, what that allows Phillip to do is Rivers is able to look at the pocket and say, hey, the left defensive end in his eyes, or the right defensive end and the right defensive tackle, they're nowhere near a threat to me. So I can step up into where they should have been rushing. So all that does is it makes the run for Barnett much longer. But as you kind of see this one full speed, take a clip here. Yeah, we can see get put on our butt right there.
We can game pass so much.
We can see, we already got a defensive lineman right here being put on his butt. That just doesn't allow us as a opposite side defensive end a friendly ability to chase the quarterback, because the quarterback's going to step up. Watch here again. Look at our two left defensive linemen here. We have one here, and then we have one here. Watch what's going to happen to both of them. So keep your eye off Barnett in this play. We know Barnett does a nice job of getting up the field, and you can see here, boom, on our butt, way thrown out. Phillip's able just to step right up, say there's no pressure here. I'm going to step up and just throw this puppy. It makes Barnett have to run about 5 to 6 yards more, and because of that, it doesn't allow Barnett to get a sack. We'll talk about this later with some other plays. If you think about it, a lot of time defensive linemen, probably don't hear this a lot in football, but imagine like an assist in basketball. A lot of times that's exactly what causes sacks, is maybe internal pressure. Quarterback has to boot this way, and now opposite defensive end gets the pressure, or vice versa.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we're about to get into another play where Barnett should have gotten an assist on a sack.
On a Sunday afternoon in KC.
Sorry about that. It's a little loud. We'll get to the coach's film here. So this play is another Chris Long sack, and it's another bull rush from Barnett. 9:13 mark. God damn it. Where is it? Did I write the wrong time down, Brendan?
9:13 for Kansas City. Adrian, let's actually go to 11:31 in the first quarter.
All right. We'll look at that one play later then. I have the wrong time written down.
It's okay.
Which one? 43 or 11:31?
Let's go 11:31. Let's go in order here.
All right. I am the worst at finding plays in the history of Game Pass.
That's okay.
It's not okay. All right, so do we want to pause this here?
This might not be the right play, Adrian. I think this is 11:55.
What do we got here? I don't think that's it either. Doesn't look like
a bunch of internal pressure, which is great there.
Yeah.
There we go, 11:31. All right, this works.
It does say 11:31. Maybe this is the play.
That's all right. You know what, Adrian, let's skip it then, because I don't think either of us are really confident this is what our notes are about. Let's go to 129, actually. This is a nice play. I've shown really good technique. 129 here. It should be in the first quarter versus Kansas City.
Oh, he got put into the ground there. 129?
129, please.
Oh, we got a little run defense.
Little run defense here.
He's been solid against the run, I thought.
He has been, yeah.
That's okay. Discipline. That's all discipline right there.
All discipline. The end zone view is going to do is really nice. Yes. And Adrian, do me a favor, I want you to pause it as soon as Alex gets the snap. Okay, boom. All right, so we get a down block here, guys. So what down blocks mean is we have blocking going away from us. So imagine we're here, we're Barnett here, okay? We see that we have Fisher going away from us. So he's either double teaming down on the defensive tackle or he's going up to get the linebacker. So then who is Barnett? No one. This is a look that you'll see a ton in college. It's a true zone read type. So as you kind of see, Alex Smith's eyes are right here into Barnett, and I hope that my mouse is actually showing on our recording here. But his eyes are on Barnett. And what he's doing is he's reading, is Barnett going to take these upfield steps to chase Hunt And if so, Alex will keep the ball, take outside. If Barnett stays square, and a great way to kind of read this is if Alex Smith can read Barnett's numbers flat across his chest, then he's going to give it to Hunt and let Hunt go off tackle. Now, this is one of those play, guys. I talked about the Twins look, and we talked about it earlier against San Diego. This is another play here. It's not exciting, okay? I understand that. You're just going to say, okay, cool, we made a tackle for 2 yards, move on. But this is foreshadowing because when you go against a team that's going to be able to have a mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott, whether it's this year or the rest of his career, he's going to be mobile. When you have a running back like Zeke Elliott, very, very athletic. So you can bet your bottom dollar that Dallas at some point will give a look like this. And if you want to win the division, it looks clear as day, you're going to have to beat Dallas. So if we play this play, Adrian, a little more,
I meant to go slow.
How he shuffles his feet and he stays square. He does a nice job at staying square down the line, and he says, you know what, Alex, if you want to keep this, that's fine. I'm one-on-one with you, and I weigh about 60 pounds more than you, and I will bury you. So the smart move is exactly what Alex does. He says, I don't want any of those problems, Derek. I'm just going to hand this rock off here to Hunt and move on to the next play. It's just a great, great job of being disciplined.
And to that point, I've seen so many rookies over-pursue that play. And something that Derek Barnett has not done has been over-pursue this play all season long. He's made a lot of plays like this down the line, and he's made some big hits down the line as well, which I think we're going to show a little bit later on. We have a play like that, if I remember correctly. All right, I want to find this bull rush, and I'm pissed.
The other clip I have is going to be at the 43 mark in the first quarter.
I'm just going to keep scrolling down until I see Chris Long with a sack. Oh, man. It says second at 9:13. I don't think the clip, the 43-second clip, is what we want either. I think we screwed up this whole game, dude. We just butchered it.
As you kind of take a peek, Adrian, to find that clip, I want to give something you and me talked about off air last time. A little shout. So me and Adrian were talking a little bit just about how to continuously self-improve, how to continuously gain knowledge. There's a book that both Adrian and I have read, and we actually didn't know that each of us read it. It's a book called Take Your Eye Off the Ball. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic book. It's really geared to help educate people on how to really watch the game. I think all of us are guilty when we watch a game. You're going to watch the quarterback take the snap, hand it to the running back, then watch the running back. Or you're going to watch the quarterback take the snap, throw it to the receiver. And then when the receiver's open, first thing you're going to do is yell, where the hell are the corners? Where the hell are the safeties? So I think it's a really good book for you guys to read. It's something I've read once. Adrian, I know you read it a couple times now and made a ton of notes too. It's a great read for those of you guys who want to kind of be a little more educated on how the whole game fits.
By the way, play's not working.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Remember, I think we remember doing this game and the third quarter didn't work.
I think that's right.
Yeah. This sucks because this is one of those sack assists that I wanted to get into. Oh, that's a shame. All right. And 43 seconds. I don't think this is the play. I mean, this is a 3rd and 8 rush, though.
Let's take a peek and see what we get.
I mean, this is where he gets put on the ground. He gets this is the dip move, and he. We'll see.
Yep. We see here Derek again, bottom of the screen here, guys, in that right defensive end spot.
Oh, okay. I don't know what play we were looking at earlier, but this was the play I wanted to look at.
I really like this play here because
it's awesome because he goes through the block of Kelsey and then he takes on Fisher. It's awesome. Look at that. So he maintains balance the whole time. That's amazing.
Honestly, he is one step away from making an unbelievable sack.
Yes.
Because he is chipped here by Kelsey. Then he has Fisher one-on-one, and he's able to rip off him, still be able to, do a good job. Now, if I'm critical, and I have to be here, Just like we talked about Rivers, how he's not exactly the most mobile person, Smith is. Alex Smith is a little more mobile. Again, he's not, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson type of elite, but he's more mobile than most quarterbacks in the NFL. So we just got to do a little better of a job of staying contained and attacking the near hip and that backfield shoulder. Because if we attack the front shoulder, that allows the quarterback to spin out. If we attack the back shoulder, that forces the quarterback to step up. And if he steps up, we know we shouldn't, in theory, have 10 defensive linemen there. Okay. Now, Adrian, pause it right here.
Oh.
See what I was just mentioning there, guys, about how he attacks that upfield shoulder and not the backfield shoulder? Because if he attacks the backfield shoulder, Alex Smith can't spin out. We can see it right here. He's in the process of spinning out. And it's because Barnett attacks the upfield shoulder and not the backfield shoulder. It's a small thing, but this is a large reason why this play goes from either being an assisted or a partial sack to an 8-yard gain for Alex Smith.
There's a point where I guess we'll show it in the end zone angle. So after he gets chip blocked, for him to still maintain his balance and the shoulder dip that he had, and he had to put his head on the ground to keep himself up. But I thought the fact that he was able to maintain his balance that entire time while he was basically being bullied by two guys was pretty incredible. So
yeah. I mean, it certainly is. It's just, again, he's a rookie, okay? So let's not condemn him one way or another, but we got to be consistent with that because there's a lot of clips, Adrian, that we have watched where he doesn't have the same balance because, again, he's not able to throw his hip as quick.
That's true. Well, against Kansas City and against the Giants where he played lesser competition, he looked a little bit better.
Sure.
So there you go. Let's say that as well. Okun and Trent Williams kind of handle him. But you can expect Trent Williams to handle.
I was going to say, Trent Williams is going to handle about 90% of the league.
Exactly. So, yeah, that you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, but that's not a matchup that an all-pro is going to lose very often to a rookie.
Yeah. All right, so here's the all-end zone angle. Go ahead.
Okay. Again, we can see him – look at this move right here. Pause it. This is an awesome example. That's okay. He is an awesome example of because with the chip is giving force power – from Kelsey to make sure that Barnett goes inside. Barnett does a good job here at staying on his feet and being nimble enough to get back outside here. It's a small thing, I know, but this makes a huge difference. Now, we look here. Look at right in front of Alex Smith. There's some trash here. This is not a clean pocket, which is exactly what we want. So Barnett, what he needs to do is he needs to attack this backfield or upfield or a back shoulder, which would be Alex Smith's right hand. And Adrian, if we play this in slow-mo, okay, does a nice rip here. But as you see here, he's coming too far. He's coming too tight. He needs to come a little bit deeper because if he's a little bit deeper, that's going to not allow Alex Smith to spin out. And in turn, that will allow us to be able to get an assisted sack up the field. And because Alex Smith, again, he's more nimble than most quarterbacks in the NFL, is able to spin out of it and get away from his play.
There you go. All right, so a couple plays from the Washington game. We got two more, and one of them is in run defense. Another one is another pass rush.
Well, for you to be an elite level defensive end in the NFL, you have to be able to stop the run and stop the pass. You can't be that one guy who fits one side of the ball the other, especially if you're going to play a team like the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be super physical, and their ideal situation is on third down to be 3rd and 3, and that means it's a run or pass situation. So if you're only a one-trick pony, you can't play against a team like that. So he has to be able to show his ability to defend the run. And there's a clip in here in the fourth quarter, which is what I love. He does a really nice job here. And this is exactly that clip.
Yes.
View is going to do a lot of help here. Now, this is kind of a similar look of what we saw on pauses for me, please, Adrian. This is kind of like a similar situation to what we saw in that last clip of Kansas City in that we have a tight end here. Now, the difference is Travis Kelce is a much better blocking tight end than anything that Washington has on their roster. So in this situation, Adrian, just pause it as soon as Kurt starts his drop for me, please. Okay, pause it. We can see right away Trent Williams is a down block. Again, this is the same thing we talked about. I think we talked about this in our – I want to say we talked about the Chargers film. Maybe it was Kansas City.
Yeah.
Trent Williams is going down. So he's either going down – against Kansas City, we talked about this. He's either going down to double team here, the defensive tackle, or he's going up to get the linebacker, which means we are one-on-one here between Barnett and Jordan Reed, okay? Jordan Reed is a fantastic athletic tight end. He's a very poor blocker.
Yep.
So Barnett should whip his tail, and he does here. What I like about this, and you can play this in slow-mo for me, Adrian. What I like about this is he's able to still stay behind him so he doesn't lose leverage, and he gets straight down the line. Look at this. I mean, he's coming literally right down the line, doesn't lose any depth, and makes a great tackle here. Now, as we kind of rewind this and we watch this one more time from the end zone here, I want you guys to kind of take a peek at the rest of the defensive line. The rest of the defensive line gets a little bit of push. There's a fair amount of offensive push, but if it isn't for Derek Barnett coming down the line, I'm not saying this is a touchdown play, but this is certainly a much larger gain. So this is a zone blocking team here in Washington, which allows the running back multiple options to see where the hole is. So if we pause it here, Adrian, you can kind of see here that he's starting to make his cutback here. Now,
right there.
Yeah, we can see it. He's going to try to cut it just inside of Trent Williams. And if we look right up the hash, there's some running lane there. Trent Williams is eventually going to feel the running back on his hip and be able to flip and turn, and he would be able to get to this linebacker here. But Barnett does a great job of getting this straight down the line, just an awesome hustle, and he makes a play, and this is only a gain of 2 and not a gain of more.
And this is what he's been doing a lot of this season. Now, I think this was the best example of it, but a couple times showing discipline in run defense and making plays on the backside. So, all right, one more clip. We got a pass rush late in the fourth quarter, I think.
Yep, I have it at
I don't trust myself anymore.
I have it at 124, Adrian.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it.
Yep, this is a good job. It's a good job here getting a knockdown. Okay.
Do the end zone angle.
Yep. So, again, we have here Barnett. Again, he's lined up at that right defensive end spot. We pretty much can tell right off the jump here that where the defensive tackle is lined up, their defensive tackle is lined up in the B gap. So if you imagine, guys, either side of the center is the A, outside of the guards is the B, outside of the tackles is the C. So we can see here that our defensive tackle is lined up right in the B gap. We see here that Barnett is lined up right in the C gap. This is pretty much going to be a one-on-one situation. I can tell you pre-snap right now that I think it's Thomas or Thompson. I can't remember the guy's name. The little running back they have there in Washington.
Yeah.
He is zero threat to protect. Zero threat. He's going to release. So this is just going to be one-on-one here, again, with an all-pro in Trent Williams and a rookie. And as we kind of play this here, Adrian, we talked about the the speed rush and the dip and rip stuff we talked so much about. This is a good example of where not only is he effective in it, I want you guys also to watch his first step right after he rips. So he rips here, okay? Now this next left foot, see how tight it is around? Okay? It's that left step that gets him the shorter distance. And this is what causes Kirk Cousins to have to kind of hesitate a little bit because he knows he's going to take a hit, and he throws it, and he throws a quick ball out. Because of that, this is only a completion for about 5 yards. So, again, it's right here. Again, we have Barnett lining up in that right defensive end spot. And this is going to be a good clip here to show exactly that left foot. Once he makes that rip move, you'll see that left foot gets really tight wrapped around. That allows his hip and his body to make a really quick turn right here.
I don't know how he didn't fall down.
These guys, there's a drill these guys do every single day. They call it the figure 8 drill or hula hoop drill. Well, they'll put one hula hoop down or 2 hula hoops down, and they essentially just have to do figure 8 sprints and then go backwards. And all it is just working on balance and working on your hip and your body lean. And that's exactly what it is being a defensive end. It's just trying to be a good body lean. The other thing I like about this too is he really doesn't run upfield. He doesn't completely run away from contact, because if he runs away from contact, then he just opens the pocket up. He does a nice job here at shrinking his strike zone. So again, right there, not much to block, but he's also not running upfield. So that's why Trent Williams, he's sitting there trying to grab his shadow, because there's not much to block there. It's just a really nice play. So this is what we want to see from a first-round pick continuing to move forward. Overall, Adrian, if I were to grade what Barnett's done this season, yeah, the stats don't look super sexy. I'd probably say he's in that C+B range, which is fine, for right now.
I'd say about B-. I mean, to kind of close and to give an example that I remember you've talked about. I don't know. I think we've talked about it on a show. I don't know when or what show it was, but Joey Bosa last year, 10.5 sacks in 12 games. You look at his arsenal, he's got 3 different pass rush moves, and you've also brought up Vic Beasley, and he only had 3 his first year. He's a speed rush guy, kind of like Barnett. He has 1 move. Barnett kind of has 2 moves, but the bull rush is a work in progress, I'll say. The speed rush, the bending the edge, that's what he does best, obviously. But if he can add a couple more moves to his arsenal, that's going to set up and then dip move that he likes to do so well. So just kind of talk about that a little bit, finding success as a rookie and having multiple pass rushing options.
Yeah, without a question. Multiple pass rush options is crucial because, as a defensive end, linebacker, defensive tackle, you pretty much always have to go into it knowing that, hey, I'm going to have to give probably 2 moves. It's very rare that you're able to win with 1 move. And if you are, you're an elite guy like Dwight Freeney, who could win with that spin move every single time. Rob Mathis was a similar situation too. So you really have to come in with multiple options. The nice thing is typically the biggest concern is actually the strength for these guys coming in. Usually getting bull rushed is not always something they're comfortable with right off the jump. So that's the good news. Hand placement, hand fighting, those type of things, that's a little easier to teach. The speed, it doesn't look elite here from Barnett, but it certainly looks good enough for him to be able to win, which is good for what he's asked to do.
Yeah. All right. So that about knocks it out. What we'll do is this. So I should have brought this up in the beginning, but hopefully our viewers watched until the end. But if you guys have any players that you want us to delve into, let us know. Because second film room study, I'll think of somebody. Maybe it'll be Timmy Jernigan. But definitely let us know who you guys want us to look into. So with that being said, you got anything else you want to say?
That's it, guys. Appreciate your time.
All right. That's it. Derek Barnett, baby. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Take care.
Appreciate it.